Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to something a little bit different today. This is meant to be a video on Tempest Rising with some tips that I have picked up from playing the game myself and for the skirmish slash multiplayer mode. What we're going to do today is essentially I'm just going to talk through some things about the game for people that when the game does come out, like just things to help essentially. Now, I might do a Tempest Dynasty one as well. This is primarily for GDF because that's the team that I've spent the most time playing and wanting to play. What we're going to do is I'm just sticking the AI on easy for now because I want to actually talk through some mechanics that I think aren't always necessarily explained best. So my idea here is to try and talk you through maybe some builds, doctrines, stuff like that, all that good stuff. So let's just get into the game. Now, this is not my least favourite map. I don't like this map very much because it's 4-player. I find it really hard to defend, but that's just my own skill. Right, GDF. Let's just get stuff rolling. Constructing. They have your credits at the top here, your population, intel. Intel is what allows you to get, I'm going to do it right now, but it allows you to get units of higher tier. So this is really important, and they have a lot of abilities around it. Right, first big choice. Do you build Harvester or Barracks first? Depends what you want to do. In this instance, I've got a lot of money, so I'm going to do Barracks first. And the reason I'm doing that is because I can build engineers to capture these things, which is a processing plant that gives more money, so 50 credits every 4 seconds, and power. You can start by going straight into a refinery. And the good thing about GDF is what you can plonk your buildings down like that. So in this instance, it's worth learning the shortcuts as well. The F keys are for all your units. I get training. No, I'm just going to get two. We're just going to get two engineers for now. We're going to capture my one and another one. So this is where the first strategy comes into on any map. Is if you know the maps well enough, you might think it's better to go straight off the bat and start capturing these buildings. It's not always the best. If you know the person you're playing against, or you want to do a faster strategy, I wouldn't even bother with engineers. I would probably go Barracks straight into the refinery and maybe get some units. Or you might want to just go straight into the refinery and then do it. Right. We want doctrines I'll get to properly. We want to get to resistance treads. I'll get to that in a sec. I want some defense. So my usual build is five field scouts, 5 drone operators before I've even done the engineers. Right, that's usually what I go for. I don't know if I have the money for it. Hopefully I will do when they do that. Really, the reason why I do this, and you don't have to do this against the AI, you want some defenses, but the thing is, you want some defenses against players because you are going to get harassed, right? Now, the field scouts themselves aren't the best units to start with, but they do have these little bad boys, which are marking mines. What these allow you to do is to mark targets. When you mark a target and you kill it, you gain intel. So it's another way of getting intel. That's the one thing you need to remember about this team, all about the intel. Right, I got quite a bit of money, so let's slap down another refinery. Commander. I think 4 harvesters is like where you want to be at, and also spending. Also in this game, you can enter this bunker, you can enter this fortification. These are things that your infantry can go into. It's kind of worth doing. Let me just use the arrow keys to scroll a sec. There are 4 of these on the map. I'm only going to grab 2 for the minute because, again, for this process. Right. Field Scout and the infantry. These drone guys. Where are they? The drone operator has it. It's not obvious. The drone operator has a handgun. So if I zoom in, you can hopefully see. Yeah. He has I don't do it. You see, he's got a handgun in his hand. He's also anti-infantry. His drone is where his anti-tank goes. If we go into this mode, we can move the drones. Whee! So there's one thing you can do is you can use the drones to scout and move and things like that. Right. Okay, so this is my usual army. This is what I like to have. I've got enough here to deal with infantry and all that. When you get to this situation, you have to decide whether you want to tech up or whether you want to focus more on infantry or whether you want to get vehicles and things like that. I would say early game, you want to make sure that you've got a decent tech up. Not like, you don't have to go like all the way, but you want to at least get a factory out. If you go double barracks, which is one of my favourite preferred things to do, you see these numbers here along here, this will open up. if you've got one barracks producing field scouts and one barracks producing drone commanders, very, very powerful. The downside is making sure you've got the money. Right? So, in this instance, we're going to build a vehicle bay. I'm going to put it over here. And the reason why we want a vehicle bay is for sentinels. Now, sentinels are a key part of the army. They essentially... Well, should probably... Let's get 2 more engineers while I'm doing it. Also, doctrines. You're going to have to figure out the timing for you. Right now is good for me. I'm going to get it. It takes 40 seconds. It makes the structures come down or built 20% faster. And I want to get earlier, like, harvesters. Yeah. What we'll do is I will restart the skirmish once we've talked through everything, and then do like kind of how I would play. Also, oh yeah, I've got it set to classic controls. Right-click cancels. Engineers, by the way, have more than just capturing. You can build turrets. You can deploy a tower. You can disarm mines. You can do some really fun things with them. Just go and capture that one as well. Right. We've got a factory. So in a factory you can build a harvester, you can build sentinels, you can build hunter tanks. Harvesters are cheaper. They're 1,300 than building another refinery. I would probably go... I'd get maybe 3 of these and then 1 harvester. Because sentinels, like I said, they have marking rounds, they can mark targets. They are a fantastic... Like, they're anti-infantry, but they can tag anything. And because of that, they're also very good for scouting. Because of that, they are really useful to have in the army. You can see how fast they are. They're one of the fastest units in the game. But you can see they have marking projectiles. Swaps to marking projectiles, which mark attacked enemies. Networked units gain bonus range and damage against marked enemies. Right, networking is another mechanic which we'll get to. But we're going to switch these guys to the marking ones. So now when they fire... So I've got nothing to fire at him. That puts that symbol above his head. That means it's marked. Right, let's get me some more of them. Right. So this to me is a fairly competent, like, early game army. You're probably not going to spend all that time doing it, but you want some of the sentinels for the marking rounds to deal with it. Because, like I said, we've got 70 intel right now, and that's not a huge amount. Certain buildings do offer that up, though. Right, so we've got our vehicle bay. We can now build more harvesters from there, which is always good. Repair bay allows you to build MCVs, allows you to fix units. We're going to go to satellite uplink now and show off what this does. Also going to... You've got defences as well, so you've got like a Gatling turret, laser turret, grenade, Tempest artillery, haywire, air pad. We'll go for each thing a bit at a bit. Also, you can put your infantry back into your barracks as well and use that as a turret, essentially, which is really cool. Radar's up. Radar helps with the map. It also lets you unlock... what does it give you? It gives you Riot Trooper, and I believe it gives you Grenadier. Now, these units are really, really powerful for what they are. The Riot Trooper, I recommend always having about 5 in your army. Reason why is they will run in, they're heavily armoured, they will run in, they will beat the ever-living crap out of their units. They can only really attack infantry, they can attack other stuff. We should probably get another barracks so I can show you this stuff quicker. Always worth getting, I think, at least 2 barracks. But yeah, the Riot Trooper, very powerful, will mow down infantry quickly. So always have at least 5 in your army. Grenadier, on the other hand, very good at crowd control as well. They don't have the longest range, so they are one of those units that you will... If you've got a mixture of Grenadiers and Riot Troopers, it's really annoying, because which one do you attack? Personally, I think you get rid of the Grenadiers, because they do area effect. My little harvester dude waiting that. You harvest quite quickly in this game, so you do kind of want to think about expanding as well, but we'll get to that when we get there. Right, got another one of these. Get them. So now you've got these 2 buttons so you can switch between them. I'm actually going to stop the... cancel them on there. Vehicle-wise, Hunter Tank, let's get one of these to show you what they do. Hopefully what you're understanding right now is that this team is high-tech in nature and is primarily... You need that intel to be able to do... I'm wasting stuff here, aren't I, because of this. I'm going to get a comms rig. I'm going to upgrade the... So you get upgrades on certain buildings. And the Riot Pod is a really good one because that gives you access to Riot Vans, which are hugely good. Right now, I think this team's best units, from the ones I've played with, are Drone Operator, Riot Trooper. Hunter Tanks can be very good for a battle tank. Riot Van is also very good. Here's a Hunter Tank. Hunter Tank has networked, so when it's networked, it can essentially has double the range, I think. This is a crazy army, by the way. Like, right, slap down a repair bay. We're going to stick the repair bay over here. This allows you to build MCVs. Allows you to repair units. By the way, when you upgrade certain units, you have these abilities on the left here. And essentially, Riot drops like Vans and Field Scout. Drops like a bunch of units. Support Beacon is something that lets you build around it, so it gives you access to that. Here's a comms rig. Comms rig in this mode, I believe it's in Intel mode, allows you to detect stealth, and it can plant mines, which is very good. In comms mode, as you can see this symbol above their head, right, what that does is it makes things attack faster and move faster. It is very, very, very powerful comms. So like, now he's marked. Let's go get him. I don't have grenades are probably the best. So you see the riot troopers aren't attacking; they're not going to do it. But also now that I don't know if he's marked the building. Oh, he killed the guy. Cool. Very, just nuts, right? Nuts ability. This thing when you fight around it, you can play this team as like almost leapfrogging and like doing all that. So it's very powerful for that. What else can we get? We've got a riot medic, pretty damn good. What I want to do is get a drone mauler because they're pretty fun. We'll also get the specialist pod so we can show that off. I'm not going to go over every single unit. I'm just trying to give some kind of riot van. Get a couple of them. And we're going to continue. Let's just get more of them. More of them. Like I said, I will show off an actual proper game in a minute. But hopefully, because I think like comms isn't explained that well, but comms access and gives it this big ability to essentially attack speed and movement. Riot van. Love me a riot van. While I'm doing this doctorings, I'm going to get this one here, which is increases harvesters. I don't even get more than one. Comms range, we'll get that as well next. Right, riot van. Heavily armored. Has this ability called suppression. Stuns enemy infantry for 6 seconds. Right? This is what it does. Doesn't look crazy. It is very powerful. And they're also armored troop transport. Very much worth having them on your team. Very, very, very powerful. This is kind of how the team works, right? We've got the specialist stuff upgraded as well, so I can now get a comms officer. I can now get a sniper. These have their own abilities and buffs to them. What I wanted to get was the data core, so we can get the drone mauler. You've got air traffic stuff, like air's an interesting one. There's also upgrades, by the way, for like the in storage pods for the refinery. They'll also get credits over time. That's what the data thing. Data core and the equivalent for Tempest access some really powerful things later on. We've also got a shield maiden, and we've also got here. We've just got the shield maiden. Let's grab one of them. I'm not going to go over all the advanced units. I just want to talk about mainly the mechanics. So once we've got this thing, right now we can get some drone maulers. Get a couple of them, and then we'll go and attack the enemy. Or hopefully what you're seeing is GDF working away where it's all very high tech. Things have area effect, like this shield maiden. You can deploy repair turret, but it sits as... do that. So the repair turret is deploys a repair turret with timed life at the target location. Repair all allied vehicles and aircraft. So GDF can be played in a very set up an area, move forward, set up an area, that kind of stuff. Here's my drone maulers. Because I've got the this thing in comms mode, it's kind of nuts. Shieldbane does attack, has the comms, move and attack speed increased by 30%. That's how crazy that is.
Our base is under attack.
Is it? Oh, down there. Right. Before we carry on, this is just like I said, the overhaul of them. Intel allows you to access those units, so that's really important with this team. That's why Sentinels are really good. You've seen some of the early stuff. Let's restart the match. Let's play like how I would play, and then you can kind of see how it's done. So if we go here, go to restart, boom. I feel like comms was the one thing that was never explained too clearly. I could never remember, really. So, but now we're gonna play it. So straight away off the bat, I'm gonna plonk down a. We've got there a power plant, And then we're going to do the same build again. We're going to go barracks into refinery. And we're going to go from there. We're going to capture a couple things.
Complete.
There we go. There's that. Into that. Right. So yeah, go barracks into refinery. Once the barracks is built, we're going to get a couple of engineers, because the thing is, engineers are 500. That's a lot to spend early on. So we're going to do that. We're going to get them to capture, probably go for this one over here and this one over here. We'll grab those. By the way, your MCV passively creates intel. So does your radar, I believe. Right. Send him over there. Get him on that. Nope. Whoops. I do that way too often. Off he's going to run. And then this guy is going to go. Now, the reason you want to get at least one of these sort of Tempest processing plants is not only does it give you power, it does give you that extra credits every so many seconds. And surprisingly enough, that does help. Right, this little fella's built. Right. 5 of them. 5 of them. And we do realistically want to start on our second refinery. I like to go 2 refineries. It can be considered quite greedy, but that's why I try to do it at the same time as getting at least something out. So you, obviously playing against the AI is not the same as playing against a human player. You could be fast, rushed engineer. They could go refinery first into barracks. So they might go for a quicker recon that way. There is the possibility to go double. They could go barracks into this, get a couple of scouts out and start harassing. So there's a few different things to think about. We've captured one of those ones, so currently got no money. So this is the only downside to playing this build, is sometimes this happens. You don't really want to run out of credits. So field scouts aren't that expensive in the grand scheme of things, but they're more expensive than the equivalent of the dynasty. There we go. Now we've got 2 of these. Right, so this should allow me to spin up this early game pressure that I like to put on. Now the AI, because they're set to play a 2 slot, always spawn here. So I always know where they are. And they're currently on easy, so, you know, this isn't necessarily the best example of it. Right, Doctrines. This is probably a good time to start getting rapid deployment once I've got 2 of these guys out. Because really, I don't really want to build too much else at the moment, for the simple reason is I want to get this army out as quickly as possible. Like, we're at the 3-minute mark, so I want to be at their base at like 4 to 5 minutes, like harassing or at least scouting. And the reason why I take 5 of each is that's genuinely enough to deal both anti-tank damage and anti-infantry damage. So we've got these guys. We're going to team them up.
On your command.
Go down here. A-move them. Always A-move. Right, now that we've done that, we've got building. What do we need? We've got power. Power's okay. We've got everything. We probably want to start built on the vehicle bay. Now, like I said, this is just this is just one opening. You can definitely go for a more vehicle play. I definitely want to get at least one more guy out. My doctrine's finished. I'm not really building a lot, so I'm going to use that time to get resistant treads right now. It's still 800. It still costs a bit. Probably a good time to get 2 more engineers. And we're going to keep going along. So we'll probably get to their base about 5-minute mark, I think. Right. 3 sentinels, 1 harvester. You can do the harvester first if you think you're not going to get harassed. This is a 4-player map, so you definitely have to play a bit differently if there's multiple people. But because we know the AI is on easy, we don't. Alright, got our little dude. Send him on his way to go capture. Change this guy. Now, 5 of these is what I usually go for, but I found 3 is a little... If you want to try and skip a tiny little bit, you can go for 3 instead. But now, at this point, now that doctrine's been researched, I want to get another barracks personally. Also, I would like to build another power plant as well, because... Right. Run into the enemy base. As you can see, AI likes to build a lot of defenses as well, so we're going to just take out this building. Caught them at the right time. Just destroyed their harvester. That was quite lucky. Take out this building right now. I'll move back just a smidge.
Construction complete.
Like I said, this is the AI Gatling tanks and most things will always shoot the drones first. I was going to back it off. I've been marked. That's what that symbol is. Gives the AI intel. I don't really want that. You can see the range. Right, just going to wait there. Go home here. Grab these fellas. Do that. Right. Second barracks. Obviously, at this point, I've kind of screwed up my build a little bit because I haven't got a satellite thing. You want to get a satellite for the riot troops and the grenadiers, right? They are very, very, very important. You don't need to necessarily do it the entire time. If you're going for a very heavy drone, a set of units, that also works. Send them over there.
Construction complete.
Right, we've got both those doctrines here early on. Next one allows you to do comms rig. I think probably the next thing I'll go for is boosted comms.
Yes, command. Building captured.
Right, now we get riot troops out. Get the riot van stuff unlocked. I've got like a decent income, so I don't mind hitting a lot of this up. We'll get 5 of them as well.
Reporting.
Right,
Building
go back
captured.
in now.
Engaging enemy.
Let's deal with this.
Come up.
Unit ready.
And they always seem to target the drones, which is kind of a good thing
Engaging enemy.
Unit ready.
while they're doing that. Like I said, I like to go for free. Free's good. I would probably at this point start thinking about expanding, which if you've got the right doctrine, I don't know which one it is.
Unit ready.
That's the comms rig one.
Structure upgrade research.
Getting this one's powerful because it now means you can put comms rig and you can build around it essentially. But you don't have to do that. You can also use an MCV, which costs a lot, or you can use a support beacon. So if I was to grab these guys and go over here, I can show that off.
Infantry. Awaiting orders.
I mean, the AI is basically dead at this point, but I can show off at least a couple of interesting mechanics. The thing to remember with GDF is that you want to be scouting, you want to be doing skirmishing. Like, Dynasty doesn't have the same requirement with the intel. Intel is used for it. This is very early game focused. That's what you're seeing with me here. Right, so now these guys are here. I'm going to just chuck this support beacon down. And what's really cool about this is support beacon comes down. I can build a refinery like that. It acts as a nice range. It also acts as comms. So if you drop this down while you're fighting the enemy, you'll do a ton of damage to them. Here's a riot drop as well. Obviously, I'm not doing the best job in terms of like min-maxing, if you will. I'm just showing you like a way of playing. You can drop these support beacons around. If I was to drop it in the enemy base while I'm fighting, or even if I'm defending, if I drop this down and it buffs everything, gives them that 30% chance, like, it becomes crazy good.
Targeting.
I'm not even going to go over there. We're just going to take it. I've got it set to comm yards. Hopefully, this helps explain anything. I'm more than happy to go. I think the demo's going away soon anyway. I'm more than happy to explain stuff. I can... The reason why I primarily focused on GDF is that Dynasty does play different. I can definitely do a video on Dynasty and show off some of the basic stuff and how, again, I would play them. It's just GDF is the one I kind of... The comms, the intel, all that stuff is what I was trying to figure out. Hopefully this is useful to somebody. Hopefully it helps explain. Because like I said, I was confused. I didn't fully understand. But now I kind of know that you want sentinels. You want buildings that are going to produce intel. You've got loads of abilities that mark. So you want to mark things. Killing things that are marked gives intel. Having the right buildings, all that. Comms just allows you to do hit harder, hit faster. And if you've got network on certain units, which tanks do, and I know your field scouts can have, be super powerful. Once I've had my time on the actual game when it's released, I can talk about some of the other units. Because there's other units in this game, like real like tier 3 units that I haven't had a lot of time with because I just never get there. A lot of the time the game is sort of your low to mid tier, so you'll want for tier 1, tier 2 units, and that's good enough. No. Anyway, I hope this has been useful for you guys. If you would obviously like the video, hit like. If you want to see more content, then hit subscribe. Links for Facebook and Twitter will be down below in the description as always. And until next video, I will see you then.